Welcome. What is up? Welcome to this week in the Mixer post-Independence Day pre-home run derby edition. Going to talk about some awesome things going on in the sports world right now. It's really a great time. We have Women's World Cup Final Sunday, Gold Cup Final Sunday night, Padres-Dodgers series this weekend. We got a little bit of NBA free agency chaos. Where's Kawhi going to sign? And we got, just over the horizon, we got football season. Mini camps are starting soon. Rookies are going to be reporting. Time to dust off my fantasy cheat sheets and get down to work. Really exciting time. I want to talk about soccer to start things off. Kind of the unique thing that's going on this time of year. It's first and foremost on my mind. So we'll talk the women's team first. Congrats, they made the final. Some will say they were hoping for them to play in the third place game, the true showcase feature. But there are those who see that the actual championship is more important. So shouts to them for their misaligned kind of priorities on what's important there. But yeah, U.S. took down England 2-1. Christian Press scored first, I think around the 10th minute, with a nice little header. A lot of people were criticizing, well, actually, maybe not criticizing is the right word, but questioning why Rapinoe wasn't in there. Seems like she's battling maybe some sort of injury. Coach hasn't said anything. Nobody's really said anything, which is kind of strange. And I guess they don't want their opponents to game plan, thinking or get an advantage, thinking that she's going to be out for sure. But anyway, press, scored pretty early on, so showing that she's capable. I wouldn't say she's as talented as Rapinoe, but she does. She is capable of filling in and making an impact, as you can see with the goal there. She did make some kind of. I remember one. I think there was a break, and it was like 3-on-1, and Press had the ball, and she had Morgan next to her, who was open, and I think Tobin Heath was also open. But Press took the shot. I think it was on a botched clearance, if I'm not mistaken. Could have made it 3-1. Would have gave the U.S. some breathing room, but she shot instead and missed. So maybe someone with a little more experience like Rapinoe would lay that off to Morgan or Tobin Heath. But I guess we'll see if it becomes a factor in the final. So really, I thought it was a good game. The U.S. was the better team, deserved the win. Alex Morgan's goal was pretty sweet. A lot of people are complaining about the celebration, and I think she actually had a quote today about male players like grabbing she said their sacks. Just strange. I don't know anybody refers to it as like grabbing their sacks, but whatever. Grabbing their junk, we'll say. after they score. And I mean, you know, some guys do that, but I can't immediately think of a time where that specifically has happened. I think that's more like a football and basketball type thing, type celebration. But I did have the initial thought when people were complaining about it. Yeah, I still, like, I don't know, I feel like this is a news story about nothing. I haven't really seen anybody complain, but I've heard about people saying that people are complaining about her celebrating by, like, acting like she was taking a sip of tea. I think it's kind of an awkward, kind of cheesy, forced celebration. I just think it's more silly than you know, insulting. I don't think any English are insulted by that. You know, awesome historical celebration though. I like a good AP US history joke for a celebration. But you know, I did have the initial thought, like, if people are really obsessed about this, like, you see players do shit all the time. Like, even somebody who's almost universally accepted as a good guy, like Messi, he scored a goal, I think in Camp Nou, right? I think that's Real Madrid Stadium. He scored a goal against them. Pretty big game. I can't exactly remember the situation, but he took off his jersey, went to the corner, and held it with, like, his number and name facing the crowd, like, showing them up. And I think he even did the, like, shush sign. Why is this hard to say? Unique New York. But yeah, and, like, there are Messi haters out there, and I didn't really hear anything bad about it. You know, it is kind of strange that when, like, a woman does something like that, it becomes a story. And I don't know, I feel like it's more of people trying to push the narrative of, like, oh, people are upset, like, why are they so pissed off that a woman's celebrating? It's like, are they actually really upset about it, or are you just trying to make a story out of it? Like, some people might find it, like, you know, this, I don't know, you know, like, obviously the English fans are going to be butthurt because their team's losing, and they don't want it to get shown up. You know, I've watched enough sports, I've seen other players celebrate. You know, any celebration they do, you get upset. You don't want to see them do that. You think it's like, just score the goal, you know, like, do a fist pump or whatever. Anything over the top just feels like they're rubbing your face in it. And so, I don't know, you know, there's a lot of emotions built up in sports. So, I don't think it really, I just feel like, I don't know, it's like, oh, they're women, so they're like, you know, they're getting unfairly judged for their celebration. And I don't know if that's that much of a factor as people wanting that to be a story is a factor, if that makes any sense. You know, and no doubt, like, if people are upset and it's because they feel, I don't know, differently towards, like, women celebrating than they do, like, in my Messi example, you know, then that shouldn't be the case. You know, this is their moment, this is their spotlight. They don't have many people watch their pro games. It's this and the Olympics, you know. It's the only stage they have, and if they want to do unique celebrations to make storylines and impact the world and give little girls something to look up to, then, you know, more power to them. But pushing the narrative that there's an outrage when it might just be a few people on Twitter saying that it was distasteful, or some talking heads looking to make a headline. It's just, what are we doing? You know, what are we doing? Why is this the story? It's, you know, there's better shit to talk about. You know, the U.S., I believe it's our third straight World Cup final. You know, Alex Morgan's becoming a superstar. Could be considered the best player of all time, women's player of all time. You know, this U.S. team could be the best team of all time. The way that I was gonna say, the way that England is played, you know, they were outclassed, and the U.S. outclassed France, and it's been that way for a while. This team, they're so much better than any of these other countries. It's you know, it's crazy. I think I heard somebody say the two best women's soccer teams in the world is the US A team, and then the US B team is second. And you know, it's kind of, I mean, they've been in some tough games, but I'm kind of seeing what their point is with all the opportunities they have, and you can see that these other teams, they're really on the edge to compete. Yeah, the scores have been close, 2-1, but like the way the U.S. controls the ball at the end of the game, shouts to Matt for pointing that out, and just how much cleaner they play. I've noticed a lot of these other teams are fouling a lot. They're getting angry. They're getting frustrated. You know, they're in the ref's face more. And just from watching a lot of sports, you can I've watched a lot of shitty teams and rooted for a lot of shitty teams that they take their frustrations out on the refs. They take them out by committing fouls and overextending themselves because they're just being outclassed, while the U.S. women have done nothing but keep their heads up, play clean, and they're getting rewarded for it. So that's gonna end part one of this. As you can see, I'm pulling up to a grocery store to run some more errands before heading home. Gonna talk about the Gold Cup final coming up, a little Padres Dodgers, and maybe some NFL stuff on the other side. So yeah, just watch part 2.